What if you could add just a few specific vegetables to your plate and see a real, measurable difference in your blood sugar? Well, today we're going to dive into 4 vegetables that research shows are absolute game changers for managing diabetes. And hey, this isn't about taking things away. It's about adding some serious power to your plate.
It's a pretty powerful question, right? The whole idea is that instead of only focusing on what you can't eat, we can start looking at what we should add. And it turns out some of the best weapons against high blood sugar might be hiding in plain sight, probably sitting in your vegetable drawer this very moment.
You know, this quote really sets the stage perfectly. We're not just talking about generally healthy eating here. We're talking about specific foods approved by doctors that can literally change how your body handles sugar. So with that in mind, let's meet our first contender.
First up, we've got bitter melon, and you've got to love this nickname it's earned, plant insulin. And let me tell you, the reason it gets that name, it's pretty incredible, and it's backed by some seriously impressive data.
Whoa, just look at that number, a potential 48% drop in blood glucose. That is a massive figure, and it all comes from these special compounds you can only find in this one vegetable. We're talking about effectiveness that's getting into the same league as medication.
And that's really the bottom line here. You're getting results that can be compared to some fast-acting drugs, but from a whole food, and hopefully without that long list of side effects. It's a pretty powerful trade-off. So the question is, how on earth does a simple melon do this?
Well, the magic is in 2 key compounds, charantin and polypeptide P. So think of polypeptide P as being like an insulin mimic. It works so well it can actually lower your blood sugar in just a few hours. And at the exact same time, charantin is telling your cells, hey, absorb more glucose. And it's giving your pancreas a little nudge to release more of its own natural insulin. It's a really, really effective 1-2 punch.
Okay, now this is super important. How you cook it really matters. If you want to keep those active compounds, steaming and stir-frying are going to be your best friends. And please pay close attention to the warnings. This vegetable is potent. That means it's an absolute no-go if you're pregnant. And it is crucial, absolutely crucial, that you talk to your doctor if you're already on diabetes meds or blood thinners, because this can literally amplify their effects.
All right, let's move on to number 2. So if bitter melon is like your special ops secret weapon, then leafy greens are your everyday soldiers on the front line. These are the absolute non-negotiable foundation of your blood sugar defense.
And here is a huge reason why. People with diabetes who have good magnesium levels show 31% better insulin sensitivity. And where can you find an amazing natural source of magnesium? You got it, leafy greens like spinach and kale.
And just take a look at these stats. The net carbs for spinach are practically nothing, less than 1.5 grams. On top of that, you're getting a nice dose of protein, a completely off-the-charts amount of vitamin K for your blood vessels, and of course, that super important magnesium we just talked about.
To get the most bang for your buck, a really quick steam or a light sauté is perfect. Now, just like before, there is a critical warning here. That crazy high vitamin K is great, but if you're on a blood thinner like warfarin, you absolutely have to talk to your doctor about keeping your intake consistent. And if you have a history of kidney stones, it's a good idea to go easy on the spinach.
Okay, our third vegetable is a real powerhouse. I love this name for it, the cellular reverser. And that's because broccoli contains this rare compound that can actually help repair some of the damage caused by high blood sugar.
This is just incredible. There's a single compound in broccoli called sulforaphane that's been shown to have all these benefits, from cutting down liver fat to making you more sensitive to insulin. But get this, the research also points to a 73% drop in the markers of cellular damage. That's not just managing symptoms, that's actually helping your body heal on a cellular level.
So what in the world is sulforaphane? The easiest way to think about it is like a master switch for your cells. It flips on these protective mechanisms, it fights inflammation, and it helps your liver do its job of detoxifying, all things that are so important when you're managing diabetes.
Now listen up, because this is something you really need to know. How you cook your broccoli changes everything. A lot. To keep that precious sulforaphane, you want to steam it or roast it. If you boil it or nuke it in the microwave for too long, you pretty much destroy all of its healing power. Seriously, how you prepare it is everything.
And finally, our fourth vegetable is okra, and this one has a totally unique trick up its sleeve. You could think of it as a glucose trap because of the way it physically deals with sugar inside your body.
That's right, a potential 43% reduction in those awful blood sugar spikes that happen after you eat.
For so many people with diabetes, managing what happens after a meal is the biggest struggle, and okra offers this really cool, direct solution. So how does it actually trap the sugar? Well, it turns out that slimy texture that some people don't like is actually its superpower. That gel, which is called mucilage, coats the inside of your intestines. It forms this physical barrier that literally slows down and blocks sugar from getting absorbed too fast, and that's what flattens out that big post-meal spike.
So here's the science. That gel we were just talking about, it has a name, mucilage. It's this gel-like stuff that's full of polysaccharides, and it's that sticky, jelly quality that creates the protective barrier. So yeah, what many people think is a flaw is actually its greatest health benefit.
Now, if you're not a fan of that slimy texture, try roasting or grilling it at a high heat. That can help cut it down while still giving you the benefits. But please listen very carefully to this warning. Because okra physically blocks absorption in your gut, you must eat it at least 2 hours apart from medications like metformin. I can't stress this enough. It's a critical safety step to make sure your medication can still do its job properly.
Okay, phew, we've covered 4 pretty incredible vegetables. So how do you take all this amazing information and actually put it to work in your real life? Let's break it down into a simple action plan. And here it is, all in one spot, your new Diabetes Fighting Toolkit. Each one has its own special superpower, and the daily goals are totally doable. Seriously, you might want to pause and screenshot this. This is your new superpowered grocery list.
You know, the most important thing here is not to get overwhelmed. You don't have to do everything all at once. Just start by picking one of these vegetables and start adding it to your meals every day. Even that one small change can start to make a difference you can feel.
And that really brings us to the final question. After seeing what each of these can do, the plant insulin, the everyday protector, the cellular reverser, or the glucose trap, which one are you excited to try first? Your journey to better blood sugar really does start with that one simple choice.